You open the tap and just drink. Now imagine yourself 50,000 years ago. In front of you, a river. But inside it, dirt, a dead fish, animal trails, and strange foam by the shore. You have no filter, no bottle, no water boiler. And if you drink the wrong thing, your day might end very quickly. Today, you'll learn what ancient people actually drank and why the most unexpected answer is not water. When we think of an ancient human, it seems simple. Saw a river, leaned down, drank. But that's a bad way to die. A river is not a bottle with a label. A river is a road. Animals walk along it. Dead carcasses fall into it. Everything you can't see breeds inside it. An ancient human didn't know the words bacteria or parasites, but he knew something else. If 3 people from the camp are lying down with stomach pain after this water, the water is bad. It didn't look like science. It looked like a grandmother with a stick saying, "Don't go there." People got sick. That's how the first water safety system worked. Group memory. No device, no analysis, just a story. We drank here last summer. Everything was fine. Or, after that puddle, everyone had a bad day. Ancient people were not stupid. They just couldn't see the microbes. But the microbes could see them. And sometimes, they won. The oldest filter is your feet. If the water in the river is dirty, you don't have to drink it. You can go upstream. You can look for a spring. You can dig near the riverbed, where the damp earth itself cleansed the water a little. The ancient human read the signs. Is the water standing still? Bad. Does it smell? Don't touch it. A dead animal nearby? That's not water anymore. That's soup. Walk away. He didn't know chemistry, but he could read a landscape better than a modern human reads a food delivery menu. And here's the important part. Ancient people often lived not where it was beautiful, but where they could drink. A spring could matter more than a sunset view, and a small stream in the rocks, a real treasure. If a group knew a good water source, that wasn't just geography. It was treasure. They would move for it, they would fight for it, and they passed that map down to their children as seriously as the skill of making a spare. And now, a strange thought. For an ancient human, water wasn't always a drink. Sometimes the water was inside the food. Fruit, berries, roots, juicy plants, meat, animal blood. Even bone marrow and fresh food gave moisture. For us, drinking means a glass. For them, drinking meant getting moisture any way that wouldn't kill you. And here's the part that was really clever. Animals always know where the water is. The ancient human figured that out fast. Follow the antelope, and you'll reach water. A free navigator. No GPS required. Only sometimes the navigator runs away. Soon we'll get to fire, because fire did to water the same thing it did to meat. It turned the dangerous into the safer. But before fire, there was one more ancient trick. Very simple, very dirty, and very clever. If the water is muddy, the first thing you can do, don't drink it right away. Sounds funny, but this is already technology. Dirt is heavy, it falls to the bottom. What's left on top is something like water. Not perfect, but better. The ancient human used whatever he had: hide, bark, a hollow in a rock, any container that holds water for at least 5 minutes. And then you could strain the water through grass, moss, sand. This isn't a modern filter. It doesn't make the water 100% safe, but it removes the visible dirt. And sometimes, in the ancient world, beta already meant alive. Important, they didn't think they were doing filtration. They just saw, after the grass, the water crunched less on your teeth. That was the first review of a filter. Less sond. Stomach hurts only sometimes. Would recommend. And now, the most important part. When people learned to control fire, water stopped being just water. It could be heated. And hot water? That's a whole different level of survival. But there's a problem. Before clay pots, you don't have a pan. So how do you boil water? Very simple. You heat stones in the fire. Then you drop the hot stones into the water. Yes, it looks like a recipe from someone who sat by the fire a little too long. But it works. The hot stone passes its heat to the water. The water heats up, sometimes hot enough to cook food or make the water safer. And here, fire gave humans enormous power. He could make tea from plants, decoctions, broths, warm water, food where the liquid and the meal are mixed together. And the most unexpected ancient drink isn't water and isn't tea. It's a drink that makes some scientists argue maybe civilization didn't begin with bread, but with the desire to have a drink. More on that next. There's a theory, a pretty one. Ancient people drank beer because the water was dirty. Sounds like the excuse for all time. But it's not true. Beer came later, when there was already grain and settlements. Back then, yes, the fermented stuff was sometimes safer than bad water. It gave calories. It was part of rituals. It kept better. But picture an ancient human who, instead of finding a spring, waits for the barley to ferment. He wouldn't live to see the beer. Though, points for trying. The main answer isn't they only drank alcohol. The main answer is they used everything. A clean source, food with moisture in it, settling, straining, fire, and later, fermentation. And here's the strange part. A modern human thinks, if there's no clean water, you die. But your ancestor thought differently. He wasn't looking for perfect water. He was looking for water that was safe enough. In the ancient world, the survivors weren't the ones who found perfect conditions. They were the ones who knew how to lower the risk. Don't drink where people got sick yesterday. Don't drink downstream of a dead animal. Go upstream. That was the entire science of water. And it worked. That's why humans survived. Not because nature was kind, but because the brain became a machine for small decisions. One small decision, and you live. One bad one, and your family's story ends at a muddy river. So what did ancient people drink when the river water was dirty? They didn't necessarily drink that river. The ancient human wasn't looking for perfect water. He was looking for water that wouldn't kill him today. And that was enough. Because tomorrow, he could look again. And the funniest part? When you look at a bottle of water today and read, "From a mountain spring," Your ancient brain nods, satisfied, because it was looking for a spring too. Just without the label. Picture this. You wake up in the ancient world. In front of you, a muddy river. Next to you, a child is crying. Everyone's waiting for you to find water. What do you do first? Drink? Boil it? Go upstream? Or look for moisture in food? Write your choice in the comments. Subscribe if you want to find out how many days you'd really last in your ancestors' world.